Have you ever been sitting in traffic and you just get really mad? Maybe you got somewhere important that you have to be and it just pisses you off, stuck behind all these cars, stop, go, brake, stop, whatever. I think that the title of this video and the idea that it represents is a very similar thing. A lot of times we'll talk about, the universe and the way that it works and the way, like the natural order of things, But it's not. That's not the way that this shit goes, bro. You are the universe. You are a part of the universe. You are a part of traffic. Just because you're you and you have consciousness and you can observe everything doesn't mean that is the only truth. This one's gonna be a little bit weirder, especially compared to my other two, but I gotta yap every day, and sometimes I'm gonna be yapping about some stuff that might be weird for people. So this, it's a bit metaphysical, and if you have issues, mental health related stuff, maybe don't watch this one, because I'm just sharing my opinion on how I view things from like a cosmological level. I think that's hair, right? Or no, that's cosmetological. Yeah, cosmological level. And because we are given, this sort of time-based view of the universe, you only have this amount of time every day, you only have this amount of days every year, and you only get this amount of years if you're lucky. It separates us from the world, from the behaviors and actions of other animals. And maybe that's why I'm sitting here talking to you on a computer. But I think that we lose, I don't know the right word for it, maybe like presentness. We lose something by getting so sucked into our own worlds, not being able to admit that you are part of the universe, that you're the universe experiencing itself, is ego. It's a sign that you think that you are something separate. You think that you're different. And you aren't. You're carbon, you're nitrogen, you're oxygen when it, isn't getting used, you're H2O, you're all of these things, and you're, I don't know, man, fucking conscious, maybe only conscious because we got background radiation or some shit. We have no idea why any of this works. All we really know is that we're here, and you can't opt out of this shit, right? So, I think though that people are losing something by trying to hold on. You're trying to fight against the way things actually are, fight against the truth. And this is being done maybe because you're not happy, or you don't think that you could change things, or, the universe works the way that it works, and what have you. I felt this way for a while. I don't know why, but I've just kind of felt like life is this thing that I wasn't signed up for by myself. It just kind of was thrust upon me. And people have expectations and wants and all those sorts of things. But I'm just gonna put in the minimum, try to build, the best life I can without killing myself, and enjoy as much like cardinal pleasure as possible, or like hedonistic shit. Like, that was just the thought process, and I had a great time. I still have a great time. I like drinking beer and stuff, but I don't think that my life is just gonna be doing boring shit, waiting for the fun shit, and then doing fun shit thinking about like, this sucks. I was watching Steve Jobs. Well, I was watching videos about Steve Jobs, and a video of him talking, I think it was in 2011, to some institute in California, came across my feed. He talked, it was a whole speech about failure and about trying things, which I've always been a firm believer in those two things. I've failed shit, it hurts to fail, it sucks to fail, you know, because it's hard. And it's really easy to think that because you failed, you're bad. Not true. Not the case. Just because you fail, this is how I'm trying to think about like the content creation space, you know. But I'll use college because maybe that's a better example. I failed a couple classes. I had to retake some shit, you know, and that is just the reality. There's no emotion in play. That is the fact of the situation. In my head, when this happened, I was like, fuck, I don't deserve to be here. I just proved it. I can't pass my classes. I can't keep up. Maybe this isn't for me. And I was doing engineering, you know. I will admit I'm not exactly the most organized. Like, there were a lot of things that I did wrong. And then you gotta have a conversation with yourself, and you gotta think like, okay, that fucking sucked. What do we do? And I'll tell you what we do. We get up, we enroll in the class again. Only sections at 8 a.m., it doesn't matter. That's what you gotta do. We take it again. But my sophomore year, I failed my first class ever. And I failed it by a decent amount. Like, it wasn't really a conversation. It wasn't something I was fighting for. So I enroll in the class again. The following semester, it was a spring originally. I take it the next semester in the fall. This class is Physics 2, Electricity and Magnetism. Now, this class had 3 lectures a week. It was 3 hours of lecture, plus a 2-hour lab, plus a 1-hour recitation. So this class was a lot. It was pretty much 5 days a week of in class doing shit, plus whatever you had to do outside of class, right? And I'm not a good math guy. You know, I went to engineering because it was hard, I think. I honestly, I've thought about why I picked the path that I did so much. And I don't know, there was a lot of things at play, but I'm not gifted in math. I wasn't well versed in it. I didn't take calculus in high school. It wasn't something that was on my radar. And E&M rocked me, dude. Physics, electricity, and magnetism worked my shit. So I take it again the next semester, and I do the same shit I was doing, you know. I don't show up to the labs because I'm feeling lazy. I don't do the homework beyond getting it for credit, you know. And I fucking failed that bitch again. I failed that class a second time. And then I was like, well, fuck. What do I do now? Because they're not gonna let me take it a 4th time. So if I take it a 3rd time and I fail, we gotta have some other shit ready to go, man. And I felt bad, man. I felt like I let myself down, which I did, but I also felt like I didn't know what happened. And eventually, I kind of realized that it's not gonna be different unless it's different. It's not gonna happen unless you make it happen. You're the universe experiencing itself. As much as you think that you have no control, you are a part of the universe. You have the ability. In that video of Steve Jobs that I talked about earlier in this video, he says, life isn't this rigid, stagnant thing that you spend your time trying not to bump your shoulders into too hard. You can poke it. You can do different things, and you can see the result. You can see the outcome. Whatever that is, maybe it's eating right. maybe it's the same thing that I want. But I think it's important to remember, as much as we think the universe, this outside force, has power over us, we have just as much power over it. And you gotta remember what you are. For years, I've said this thing. I don't know if people fully understand what I mean when I say it. We're just monkeys on a rock at the end of the day. That's really all, that's as deep as it goes. We're monkeys on a rock. Who knows why we're here? You gotta figure that answer to that question out yourself. And maybe there's no reason. But if there's no reason, then that means that you can do whatever you want. That means that you're free, man. You're free to do whatever interests you, whatever makes you happy. And I don't know, I mean, I just think I'm at the point in my life where I gotta make shit happen. I gotta do it. I got to get that shit back in blood. I gotta fucking grind. I gotta create. And I implore you, if there's someone out there who's still watching this, I implore you to really, really think on this. Think about you. Think about your place in the world, in the universe. Think about how you could impact it and what would make you happy. I have like lower self-esteem, I would say, than the average person. I mean, to do this, you inherently kind of have to want people to look at you and want attention and stuff. So I don't know if that's shocking, but sometimes I'll think about other people, like my girlfriend, and like her plan for her life. And she has things that she wants and things that she cares about and things that she is gonna set out to change. And I think this has always been the thing for me, but it's so unlikely, you know? It's 1 in a million. So I was always really nervous. I mean, I went to college. They don't make a degree for being a fucking content person. But I want to do it. And so I'm gonna make videos, and that's really all there is to it. I'm pushing the universe. And I've been doing it for like 3 months now. And I'm just starting to see the universe push back. It's very cool. People are coming into the chat. And I'm feeling vindicated. It's great. So, if you're out there, you have something that you've been thinking about, maybe you're too nervous, or maybe you think you could never do it, you have just as much control over the world as the world has on you, because you're a part of it. You are equal. You can try to protect yourself in this picture of the self that you have in your head, but you'll probably be a less motivated, a less driven person because you don't think that you can actually accomplish anything. So, thanks for watching. Kendrick dropped today, so if anybody wants to come watch that, I'll be streaming in a couple hours after this upload.